So I've got two different pictures here just to confuse you. I want to keep you guys on your toes. Let's start with the first quality, agreeable. Agreeable. Imagine you're on an airplane and the stewardess offers you a drink. Is that person agreeable or unagreeable? Agreeable, right? The flight attendant personnel are usually, they have to pass a personality test to become a flight attendant. They have to be agreeable. If they're not agreeable, they're not going to get that job. Have you ever been to a restaurant in Berlin where, yeah, you already know, right? The waiter was very disagreeable. They shouldn't be a waiter, but they need the money, and the owner of the restaurant doesn't give a shit. So you have a disagreeable person doing a job that's really suited for agreeable people. Okay? The next one is open. Open to new experiences. You know, this might be someone like a ski instructor, or maybe like a tour guide out in the city. It might be someone that you see online who's traveling the world, who's in a new city, who's got like a vlog and they're in a new city every week or every month. That's someone who's high in openness to newer experiences. Someone who's low in openness might be someone who's very traditional, who lives in a small town, who's never left their small town. He's happy, he's like, I don't need anything. Has a traditional job, traditional life, and they're happy, content. And you're thinking, if you're open, if you're an open person and you're looking at the person who's not open to new experience, you're thinking, how can they be happy? They're totally happy because they're not open to new experiences. They're happy being just the same old, day in, day out. It's fine for them. Extroverted and introverted, we'll get into in a little more depth, but you guys know a little bit about extroverted, introverted people? Yeah? Conscientious. Conscientious is someone, think of a surgeon. Cuts people open, messes around, and puts it back together. That person is hopefully very conscientious. They want every little thing, every little detail tied up, right? That person is highly conscientious. And you, Jessica?
I take the word conscientious like thoughtful to other people. And that's a very different example for me. I'm just wondering, am I reading that word wrong when I did the test?
I don't know if they apply directly to people or only to things, but generally, conscientious to people is a little bit different. Conscientious is, the way I understand it, more towards things, but we can read up on it and double check.
Detail-oriented more?
Kind of detail-oriented. Conscientious doesn't mean really detail-oriented. It means cares about things. Like if they see something on the floor, they'll pick it up. If something's out of order, they're likely to, roommates here. So, you know, if they see something out of order, they'll pick it up, or even if it's on the sidewalk, you know, they'll take care of it. If they're at work and they see the copier room is a mess, even if it's not their fault, they're going to clean it up because they're highly conscientious.
What's the German word?
Rücksichtsvoll. Rücksichtsvoll. And someone who's low and conscientious doesn't care, right? If it's not directly their responsibility, they're not going to bother. They're not going to bother. The last one is called neuroticism. Any question?
Oh, you asked that?
Yeah.
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 I was a little bit confused about conscientiousness still, but
Someone who's taking care more often. So if they see something, like if they go in the kitchen and there's breadcrumbs everywhere, they're going to clean it up. Or if they're not going to throw garbage on the street outside in public. They're going to put it in the garbage. You know, they're conscientious. They're like, okay, I'm not going to throw that on the street. They're going to clean it up. If they're at work in the copy room, in a shared space, and they make a mess, they're going to clean it up because they're conscientious.
Because they care about how other people feel.
Partially. I don't know. We'll have to dig.
Why don't you clean up not your own mess?
I mean, usually they do it for themselves. They're not the one for other people is more of the agreeable, the agreeable one. The conscientious is more for me. I need things to be in order.
Order.
Yeah. Does that help?
yeah,
Okay, kind of. We can talk about it more after as well. And the last one is neuroticism or emotional stability. So someone who's you're going to hear it called two things. You're going to hear it called neuroticism, or you're going to hear it called emotional stability. Someone who's highly neurotic is very moody. One minute they're happy, nice, all cool. The next minute they're annoying, complaining, sad, mopey. Their mood is changing all the time. So when you take the test, I'm going to give you some links to take these tests at home. You're going to get a score of 0 to 100 on all of these things. Okay? On extroverted, you're going to get a score of 0 to 100. If you're above 50, it means you're extroverted. And if you're below 50, it means you tend to be introverted right now, according to the test. We're going to talk about that in detail some more. Conscientious is also going to get 0 to 100. On the conscientious, you want to be somewhere in the middle. You know, if you're high in conscientiousness, that's fine. But if you're under 50, if you're very low in conscientiousness, you want to think about improving that a bit. Because when you're very low in conscientiousness, it makes interactions in a society more difficult for you. It makes it more challenging, and it's going to get you in trouble with people and limit your ability to connect. So that's one to keep an eye on. Emotional stability, you want to get this as high as possible. For various reasons in Western culture, we've grown up with a lack of emotional stability, and we can improve this. If you're below 70 or 80 on this, you really got some homework to do. Yes.
Usually you measure that with neuroticism, and then you want to be below this thing.
Right.
So
Yeah, depending on, it might be, depending on how the test is, if it's calling you below 50 on neuroticism, or it's going to call you on emotional stability as 80, right? Right, so depending on which way that your test, but the test link that I'm sending you calls it emotional stability, so you want to be high on emotional stability. On agreeableness, you want to be somewhere in the middle. People who are overly agreeable and say yes to everybody and everything don't have a backbone. They're going through life like a leaf, right? But at the same time, you don't want to say no to everything, because then you're just closing yourself off from life. So finding that balance in every situation, in every moment, is the opportunity. Any questions? No? Okay. Any questions on the big, and we'll go more into extroversion, introversion later, but any more questions on the other four for now?
What's your opinion on openness? Is there any recommendation, or just like for depends on the person?
It depends on the person. So with openness, someone who's very, very closed might want to consider being a little bit more open, but that one's I think is really just a personality thing. That's an individual thing, just an individual. There's a certain level of that where they might need it to, if they want to do, for example, if someone's wants to be a pilot, but they notice they're very low in openness, they might need to up that a little bit so they can be able to work with new people, go to new cities and stuff like that. So there's times when you need to change it. But if someone is, not very open and they're happy with that, they have to know, they have to feel into that and see if it feels right for them or it's something they want to change.
Yeah.